Welcome to this webinar for applicants for the Europubhealth program. We are very happy to bring this webinar to you. So this webinar is organized by the Europubhealth program and EPHSA, the Europubhealth Students and Alumni Association. And we also have with us a representative from EMA, the Erasmus Mundus Association. We will start with a roundtable of the different panelists present here. I can start with myself. We have a member of the coordination team. I'm Mathilde Faucrier, the administrative coordinator of the program. I work at EPHSP School of Public Health in Rennes, in France. And we also have Anna Sertola. Anna, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Anna Szetela, and I'm a member of the team located in Poland at the Jagiellonian University in Krakow. And I am a member and coordinator as well of selection application process.
Thank you very much, Anna. And for our support team today, we also have Julia Fernandez, our communication officer. She's behind our website and social media, so she's helping us a lot for the organization of the webinar. And Hélène Ferraud, our intern, so they are helping us for this webinar to run smoothly. And we also have panelists that are current students.
Let me start. Good afternoon, everybody from Poland. My name is Jaime Bonifacio Jr., and I'm from the Philippines. I'm in my second year in Europubhealth. I completed my first year in Sheffield, and I'm specializing in governance of health systems in transition at the Jagiellonian University in Krakow.
Hello, everyone. I go second. My name is Kaya Gotzi. I'm originally from the US. Right now, I'm in Dublin in my first year of the program, and I'll be heading to Maastricht for the second year.
All right, I'll go next. So my name is Katarina Fritsch, but you can also call me Kata. I'm in my second year currently at Maastricht University, specializing in governance and leadership in European public health. But I did my first year also at the University of Sheffield. And I currently act as the EPHSA EPH Mentorship Program Officer as well.
Hello, I'm Marco, and I am a second year specializing also in leadership and governance of European public health. I did my first year in Spain, and now, yes, we're here.
And hello, my name is Koib. I'm the second year of students right now in Liège Espirène. My first year in Liège. And my specialization is in health promotion prevention.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jordan. I am a graduate of the program and graduated in 2022. I was in Granada and then Maastricht and then a little bit of Paris as well. And now I'm in Italy in medical school. And I'm also from the US.
Thank you very much. I think we have everyone for now. Our panelists will join us for the Q&A session at the end of this presentation. So I will start very briefly with a presentation of the Europubhealth program, and then we'll have a presentation of the application process and selection based on the question you submitted us. And then the students and alumni will take over for a presentation of EPHSA, and we'll finish with the Q&A session. So what is the Europubhealth program? Europubhealth is an Erasmus Mundus joint master in public health. It is recognized as a Master of Excellence by the European Union and delivered by the consortium of 8 universities in Europe that you can see on this map, in Spain, in the UK, Poland, Netherlands, France, Belgium, and Ireland. It is quite an old Erasmus Mundus Master Program, one of the oldest actually, because the first intake of students was started the program in 2006. So Europubhealth is a 2-year double master program, and students spend their first academic year in one of the country of the consortium to study core competencies in public health, and then they follow a specialization course in another country during the second year. So this is the overall program structure that you can also find on our website. I encourage you to consult our website in general, you will find all the information you need about the program and about the application process. So I'm sure many of the answers to your questions are already there. So during your study, during your first year, you will study Foundation of Public Health. The content is harmonized between the 4 different choices you can make. So you can choose your pathway according to which language you would like to study in Spanish at the University of Granada, in French at the University of Liège, or in English at the University of Sheffield or University College Dublin. You can find the detailed content and the syllabi on our website. And then there are 7 different specializations from epidemiology and biostatistics to health promotion, health services management. You can see the full list on this slide. And also on our website, you will find the detailed syllabus and the learning outcomes and links to the host university's website if you want to have more information. And as you can see on this slide, at the end of each academic year, all students gather for intensive integration module in Rennes, in France, where students gather year 1 and year 2 students to work together, tutored by international visiting professors. Okay, what do you get at the end of the program? Because I'm sure you are all interested in this. At the end of the program, upon successful completion of all the module and all requirements, all the university credits, you will receive what we call a double degree. It means 2 different master degree. You will graduate and have a master degree delivered by your first host institution, your first year host institution, and a second master degree in your for your specialization, your second year, delivered by the second year institution. You will also receive a joint Europubhealth certificate of achievement and a joint diploma supplement to explain your journey within the Europubhealth program, what you study during your first year, your second year, and to explain to hypothetical future employers what is the Europubhealth program about.
So why choose Europubhealth program? Of course, because you can study in different countries and based on the languages you speak or your specific interests, also understand the cultural context and explore more how health systems work in different countries. You can choose your specific track. In each university, there's different professors that are both national, local professors, but also international speakers. You also get to engage during the integration module in the summer with many professors coming from different backgrounds. There's professors more specialized in biomedicine, others in traditional medicine, anthropology, sociology of health, and more. Attending Europubhealth program also means graduating from 2 high level universities in the European region, but also completing a Master of Public Health. So you will also receive a comprehensive MPH that many times will allow you to also further your career through PhDs, MDs, or other opportunities, both within intergovernmental organizations, but also local context. Yes, if you want to.
Okay, I'll continue with the slide. So also there is a wide range of employment opportunities. So we're both current students, but we've met a lot of the alumni, and also Jordan will speak a bit more about this later on. The alumni are employed in a lot of different types of organizations. So some work for governmental organizations, so Ministry of Health of countries, or also international organizations as WHO, but also some work for the industry, or as Marco also said, continued in academia. So there's a lot of options post EPH as well. Then I think, yeah, as Marco also mentioned before, like through the program, you meet people from all around the world, and especially in the integration module where everyone comes together, you really have a kind of unique experience of people coming together from all over, and discussing public health, basically, which is one of my favorite parts of the program. And yeah, you have a network with professionals from the different universities, also during the integration module, but also obviously your peers. So again, you learn in the classroom, but also from your friends as well. And the last point is also that there's a mentorship program for current students and alumni as well. So you can benefit from the advice from mentors. And I'm currently organizing this year's version with the help of 3 other people. And it's quite nice to get some insights into how you can proceed with public health after graduation as well.
Okay, so I'll be touching on this side for diversity in the program. So as you can see from this graphic, the Europubhealth program is incredibly diverse. It spans across 6 major continents with 45 nationalities currently represented. And just speaking on personal experience of being in the program, you're exposed to people of a variety of different backgrounds from their nationality and ethnicity, and also like Marco and Katha were mentioning in the previous slide, with backgrounds of thought and experience. So it's an incredibly diverse program, and you're able to get such a well-rounded introduction to public health or further experience in public health by hearing from so many different people and perspectives. And it's definitely a highlight of the program. And if you're worried in any regard of like being from a specific area, you definitely should not be. And it's something that is incredibly valuable to come to the program with your variety and diversity of background.
So many people often ask, obviously, with a degree in higher education, what can you do with this when I'm done with it? So as you can see by this graph, this is about 15 months after graduation. So EPH polls their graduates every year. We have a very strong alumni base and are very connected to the current students. And about 20% do go on to pursue PhDs. I do believe in my year, that is a good amount higher. I'm one of the only ones pursuing an MD. There are 2 of us, and many also go into policy analyst positions, especially if you're coming from Maastricht University, like I did, strategic consultants. There are many that want to work in Brussels, in work on EU-focused policies. Many people go back to their home countries or to the US or the UK or Canada to work in policy and strategic consulting as well. Many students also work for international organizations. So since we have a strong alumni base, we have talks pretty much every month with alumni from the OECD, from the WHO, and other strong international and global public health organizations and healthcare organizations in general. So it's great to have that background and those connections, because we can reach out to those alumni and say, oh, I'm interested in working in the WHO in this department like you. Can I get an internship, or can we discuss? And is there an opportunity for a webinar? So there's absolutely a wealth of opportunities if you're in the field of medicine, health, public health, epidemiology, etc. And there are a percentage of graduates that do entirely different things. You'll see a little bit later that we have students that come from marketing or finance, unrelated directly to public health, and people go on to take the skills that we've learned in Europubhealth, both the hard skills and the soft skills, and go into other forms of work as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well.
So now concerning the participation cost, you can find the details on our website as well. It's 18, this figures that you can see on the slide, it's for the 2-year program. So it's actually half for each year of study. It's 18,000 euros for non-European students and 13,000 euros for European students. So what is considered as European students, you can also find the list on our website if you'd like to be sure. It's the citizen of the 27 member state of the European Union, plus the United Kingdom, Macedonia, Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Turkey, and Serbia. So You also have the opportunity for self-funded students to pay in the 3 different installments per year. So you don't have to pay everything at once if this is not accessible for you. So what is included in those participation costs? The enrollment in all teaching units and modules, access to educational resources, to the library, to documentation center, to the services of a university, examination, diploma issuance and certificate. We also organize social events for students during the integration module in Rennes. We talked about that. And there is also health and emergency insurance for all students provided by the program. In meeting the requirements of the Erasmus Mundus program. What is not included in the participation cost is the accommodation, food, international travel, travel on site, and visa costs. But I'm sure that you've heard that there is Erasmus Mundus scholarship opportunities for a limited number of top-ranked applicants in the program. So it covers the same item. And in addition, there is for the student who will be awarded an Erasmus Mundus scholarship, a living stipend of maximum 1,400 euros per month of study, so per month of active participation in the program, and it's paid to the day of participation in the program. That's why it's written maximum 1,400 euros per month. So concerning funding and funding opportunities, as I said, the Erasmus Mundus Scholarship, Excellence Scholarship, are only available for a limited number of applicants. It's around 15 students per cohort. So we actually encourage applicants from the start to look for alternative sources of funding to be able to join the program, even if you are not awarded the Erasmus Mundus Excellence Scholarship. So we encourage you to visit our website. There is the funding opportunities page where it is listed the funding opportunities that we know of, and we also encourage you to make your own research, maybe like contacting the consulates of the country you would like to study in your country, for instance. They may be aware of funding opportunities. And you will also find budgeting tips on our website from the students. There is also the living costs page on our website where we give example of living costs in the cities of the consortium, and there is a comparator where you can compare living costs in each city in the consortium and maybe with your own city if you would like to have an idea of what are the living costs in the different countries of the consortium, because that's something you may want to consider before joining the program. And now I will leave the floor to Anna for the admission requirements.
First of all, it's at least a university bachelor degree. And we have received quite many questions regarding what if I'm still on my undergraduate program. So as some of you probably know, it's still possible, but you should really show and prove us that you will be, that the expected date of graduation is next year, rather the first half of next year to can be registered in EPH program and ready to start in September. Now, proficiency in the languages. So here really, even during this webinar, we received many questions from participants and also on contact form and also directly to our email. And we are really sorry, but we really have strict rules. And as the program is very competitive, I mean, the application process or evaluation process is very, very, very competitive. We cannot have any exceptions. So we are aware that in different countries, you had your bachelor's programs in English. But if the rule is that, for instance, students from Sierra Leone or Nigeria or other countries in Africa and Asia have to show us the test result. I'm sorry, but this is really mandatory. Of course, separate regulation for Spanish and or French, depending on the pathway you have chosen. The application is fully online, and of course, before submitting, by the way, don't submit your application. Maybe now it's not a big problem, but just shortly before the deadline, we see that many candidates do it in a hurry, and then the next day we receive emails. Could you please check if my application is okay? And we check, and I'm sorry, but you've forgotten to submit your application, and we cannot do anything because that would be against the rules again. So don't forget it. And all mandatory documents have to be provided, uploaded before the deadline. Without this, you will be not able to submit the application. And again, I'm talking about language requirements because some participants, even today during this webinar, ask about the possibility of providing language test result after the deadline. I'm sorry, no, everything must be done before. So please remember that all documents must be provided in English. And also receive questions about what if my university gave me a copy of my diploma and transcript in English. Is it valid? Yes, it is. So we do not require, in each case, we do not require sworn translations. It can be also a document issued by your university. A copy of a valid passport. Of course, then CV. We prefer the Europass format. It's not obligatory, so if you prefer another way of showing us your life, it's also okay. Motivation letter, 600 words is our limit, and please do it in English. Very rarely, but it happens that the CV is written in French or in Spanish. So regardless the pathway you prefer, you choose, all documents must be done in English, CV included. And yeah, the copies of your higher education degrees, as I mentioned already, it's if you don't have it yet because you graduate next year, please provide a document confirmed by your university, including the expected date of graduation. Sometimes it's even if it's not an exact date, just a month will be sufficient. Official transcripts in English, I already talked about that, evidence of language proficiency, and again, I already mentioned. Now, 2 references, and also even during this webinar, I think, but also on contact form, we received questions about the number of invitations you can send to your referees. So you can send more than 2, but please remember that there are only 2 slots for recommendations. So if you send it to the 3rd or 4th person and the slots are already occupied and the recommendations are filled in, there is no way to add 3rd or 4th recommendation. And also we received the questions about recommendation letter. We sometimes use this word, but your referees are not asked for sending a letter. They receive a structured recommendation form, including 4 questions, plus personal data. And that's all. They only ask for filling this form in. Okay. Now, please, before, of course, you may use contact form, of course, but please, sometimes it's easier and faster to find the answer in our frequently asked questions. section, and also in our instructions for applicants 2025. We have it on the website, on Mundus, so this application website. And we really do think that all the answers are here. Of course, sometimes your cases are very specific. So of course, in this case, for sure, you don't hesitate and contact us. But sometimes what we do answering, because I'm also one of the persons who answer you if you send out your questions to contact form. So I'm one of the team, and sometimes all we can do is to refer you to give you again the link to our frequently asked questions section, and to say that, okay, the answer is here. If we have time, we copy and paste this answer, but sometimes you will receive many emails. It's really faster to give you just the link. So sorry about that, but receiving really many questions, we have to do this. One thing which is very, very, very important, please provide a valid email address of your referee. Please double check, because really every day we receive really, maybe not hundreds, but many emails from different platforms answering, no, you sent letter of recommendation request, but this address does not exist, or there is no space for a new coming emails in this or that inbox. But this is another case. So please double check, because also it is impossible for us to check whose referee it is and who made a mistake when providing email. By the way, it also happens when you use contact form, and sometimes when it's quite easy to guess what should the exact address of a candidate be, we can answer, but sometimes we really don't know to whom should we answer, because the address you inserted is incorrect. So please double check. And Europass format is preferred, I said already. And academic records, of course, for those who are still studying, of course, we accept also provisional documents, because sometimes a candidate has only access to his or her provisional copy from the university platform, so it is okay. But please remember that if your application is selected and you start in September 2025, you will be asked by first-year university to provide hard copies of all documents required. So expected graduation date in your CV, it should be also included there, just to make it obvious for the selection evaluation committee. And proof of graduation, of course, must be also provided before the beginning of the program in September 2025. And now, what makes a good application? First of all, let me say this: even if your application is not selected for 2025 intake, please don't think it wasn't a good application, but really the competition. We really have a lot of applications open, and we cannot select all good or even very good applications. I'm sorry, because there is no so many scholarships. So just some tips. Yeah. So reasons for choosing Europubhealth+ Master, so-called added value for the students. Even during this seminar, this webinar, we received questions from participants who graduated from areas maybe quite far from public health, but it's open for everyone. But please show us in your motivation letter why now you are interested in this. Maybe your background, your bachelor degree was in a different area, but then you got experience close to public health or even directly in public health. The same for the second year option. Please explain, justify why this is important for you, for your career, but also for other people, because there's public health. So if you, is it the continuation of your previous education, or maybe it's needed because your career, according to some circumstances, will change a little bit and will be changed a little bit, and maybe this is necessary. So in general, please answer questions why you and why EPH. Of course, we have some criteria like educational credentials, previous marks, grades you received. That's why we ask you for transcripts relating to all your previous degrees. There's no need to provide documents relating to secondary level education. Professional experience, yes, describe it in your CV, of course, and mention it in the application form, because there is some space for this. Your work experience in the field of public health, healthcare, or social work, and of course, including volunteer work, placements, summer jobs, etc. And also, you may mention it in your motivation letter, but please remember that there is word limit. And also in your motivation letter, do not repeat all information included in your CV. The evaluation committee sees all documents. So in the motivation letter, just refer to this work experience in the field of public health if it's connected to this explanation why EPH. Now, international projects or prospects. Yes, it is quite important part of this evaluation of those evaluation criteria. Please remember, it's also explained in our instructions that it's not only international project conducted abroad. We also accept, if I may say that, if it's international project done in your home country. This is also something which counts. And of course, personal skills, cultural adaptability, which can be shown also based on these international projects, and autonomy, initiative, sustainability, suitability for teamwork. And we base here on, of course, on your CV and motivation letter, but also on recommendations by your referees. We have 3 deadlines. First of them being 9th of January 2025. And this is for scholarship applicants, and really no later. So please don't do it at the very last moment, because if so, you really risk that, for instance, there will be something wrong with the, I don't know, internet connection or something. Even with our platform, it happened a couple of years ago that just 1 hour or 2 hours before the deadline, we had a technical problem. So please don't wait so long. Then the next 2 deadlines are for so-called self-funded candidates. One at the end of March, then the next one for May. The deadline in May is recommended for those students who do not need a visa. So, for instance, for European students. Yes, and
for the students for the scholarship awards. Some students may be invited to online interviews that will take place on the 17th February 2025. So the time it will be short, 15 minutes interviews with Europubhealth professors. And the slots can be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. CET, Paris time, for instance. It's mandatory for the scholarship awards. There are no other dates or no other slots possible when you will be invited to this interview. So this concerns the top ranked students that will be interviewed for scholarship awards.
I think thing was said. Yes, maybe this last part that you register for to those who don't have it now, register for the language test as soon as possible, because the deadline is in January 9th. So we still have this time to receive. I mean, you have time to receive the result, even if it's not official result. It is at this stage of application. I mean, if you are in a hurry before the deadline, you may send us the screenshot of this first information about the language test result. It will be accepted now. Of course, once you have the official version of this result, please send it to us via email.
And I see that many of you are asking specifically about the language, and I thought I shared something in the chat that everyone could see, but it did only go to the panelists. But if you go online, everything is detailed based on where you're trying to go, where you're from, and based on that, what scores you need. And it is fully detailed. And they have explained it several times, but there are so many of you applying that no exemptions personally will be made on this, because it is explicitly stated what you need and where you're from based on that. So please register for the language test as soon as possible, and please take a look at that link. Unfortunately, I can't share it on the chat here, but you will find it on the website.
Why are there 3 deadlines? Well, we said that the first one, you should absolutely submit your application before the 9th of January if you would like to apply for the scholarship. And then we have another one for students who don't need a visa. We have different deadlines to be able to give you earlier results. And last deadline in May, only for students who don't need a visa. So that includes also European students who would like to go to the UK, by the way, because you will need a visa now that after Brexit. And you can find the link to our application platform, but I'm sure that many of you already opened their applications, I hope. And now we'll leave the floor to EPHSA.
Thank you very much, Matilde, and everybody. I hope by now the application process is already clear to everyone, as well as the requirements. But we will continue answering your questions in the Q&A box. Now, you've heard a lot of good things already about Europubhealth, but let me add some more. We have received questions about student experience while in the program, so let me talk about them just a little bit, and then we'll have more discussions during the panel session about the specific experiences of our panelists. Now, the Europubhealth community, which includes the EPH consortium, the current students, as well as our alumni, provide numerous opportunities for, number one, forging meaningful professional and personal connections. As mentioned earlier, we have representation from all over the world and from various disciplines, which is essential not only for personal growth and broadening one's perspectives in life, but also in establishing a truly international career in public health. The community also promotes and supports student-led initiatives that foster academic and professional growth and pushes for collaboration and networking on diverse public health projects and initiatives. And lastly, once you join the program, you will receive peer-to-peer support and mentorship within our dynamic community. Next slide, please. Now, many of these initiatives are spearheaded by the Europubhealth Student and Alumni Association, which is the official and legally registered nonprofit organization of Europubhealth Students and Alumni. One of the flagship programs of EPHSA is the EPH Mentorship Program, which connects current students with seasoned professionals to help them develop skills, overcome challenges, navigate careers in public health, and expand their networks. And we hope that you get to experience this program very soon. EPHSA is led by a board composed of current students and alumni, as well as representatives from different cohorts to promote inclusion in its initiatives. Next slide, please. So these are the board members of EPHSA. We have representatives from the alumni as well as current students. And we also have representatives from our mentorship program. Katha here, who is one of our panelists, is one of our mentorship officers. And maybe she can also talk about the mentorship programs currently being done by our mentorship team. Now, EPHSA is a member of the bigger Erasmus Mundus Association, where we are represented by Jordan Hammond, who's also in our panel, and who will give us a brief introduction of the association. Let me give the microphone to Jordan. Jordan?
Hi again, everyone. So as Bonnie mentioned, there is a greater Erasmus Mundus Association. So EPHSA is not necessarily a branch of that, but I am the liaison between all Erasmus Mundus students and alumni in the Erasmus Mundus Association called EMA. There are about 50,000 members worldwide, and you have access to be a member of EMA once you have matriculated into Europubhealth. So many students are representatives for their countries, and they help talk about Europubhealth and Erasmus to their countries. And we also have program representatives. So that is what I do. I answer your emails and help you connect to the greater Erasmus Mundus community. And Europubhealth is unique among many or all of the EMJMs because we have such a strong EPHSA internal board. So normally in other programs, it would just be me, but we have this wealth of the Europubhealth Students and Alumni Association to host all these events for you. So we work closely together, EMA and EPHSA, to help provide things like this. And EMA is also an official organization registered through Belgium as a nonprofit, and it was founded in 2006. So both have strong standing ways to support and help. And within EMA, not only can you have access to things like international poster competitions and legal assistance if you have visa troubles, things like that, but you have opportunities to meet with people from all over the world and discuss interdisciplinary topics between public health, business, science, things like that. So I would love to explain about EMA all day, but I will continue on so we can have time for all of the amazing questions on the panel. And I do see that many of you keep asking the same questions. We are doing our best to answer them as fast as possible, but there are almost 330 of you, so please be patient.
All right. Now let us proceed to the next part of our program. Again, we will keep answering your questions in the Q&A section of this account of this meeting room. But yeah, let's proceed to the panel session with our current students and alumni. Once again, thank you very much to our speakers for the comprehensive presentations, which I am certain answered many of the questions of our attendees today and hopefully made things clearer for them, especially those regarding the requirements and application process. Now let us proceed to the experiences of our current students. These past weeks, we received many questions from prospective applicants through a survey and some emailed directly to current students, including the student ambassadors and EPHSA officers. While we have already answered many of them, I think it would be good to answer them based on the experiences of our current students. We have here how many? 5 or 6 current students and 1 alumni. The first question is based on the questions that we have received from the survey. So many prospective students are curious about their or about how their backgrounds impact their chances of getting accepted. This includes factors like being a fresh graduate, being about to graduate, or having a prior master's degree, or the number of years of work experience. So I'd like to ask Katha to share her insights and experiences regarding this.
So I think a lot of the current students and alumni of the program have a variety of backgrounds. So I can speak for myself. So I came kind of more or less straight from my undergrad study. So it's definitely a possibility to still be accepted in the program if you don't have a ton of experience professionally. I did have some internship experience and some research experience as well, but I graduated in the summer of 2023 and I started in September 2023. So that's a possibility if you're in a similar situation. However, there's also current students and alumni who've had years of experience in related fields, also not so much related fields to public health, who also decided to study this program and who were accepted as well.
Thank you, Katha. Can you add anything, Marco?
Yeah, just talking about my personal experience, because I've also seen some of the questions here in the Q&A. People wondering if they have a nutrition background or like different backgrounds or like more social science. I can reassure you, yes, I'm an anthropologist with a heavy social science and social work background, but I could still apply. One thing I would say is like find the connection of how you're seeing health applied in your specific context. So maybe tell us something about how you see your background, even if it's not super related with public health. How is your field contributing to public health, or where are you most interested in learning from public health that can contribute to your field? So yes.
Yeah, that's a wonderful answer, Marco. Yeah, it is very important to find the connection between what you do and public health and your future aspirations also. Now, let me also add something, because I think I represent the older groups in the current students of EPHSA. I think a combination of experience plus academic performance, your prior education, as well as your motivation will help you stand out in the application for Europub Health. However, that doesn't mean that you need to have them all. Okay, so if you are applying, highlight your strengths and highlight your motivation, why you want to do this program. Let me also ask Kaya, who is our first year student, to share her insights.
Yeah, I mean, I would just echo what all of y'all just said. I know in my program, I also come from a social science background. I come from a sociology background. And I agree that just finding your connection to public health, to what motivates you to not only want to pursue public health, but pursue public health in this format. This is a very unique format. So pull on the strengths of yourself as an applicant, and it can be in your work experience, or if you don't have work experience. I also came like right after graduation, so I didn't have that much work experience, but I had experience in other ways. So just like applying for anything, highlight what makes you a great candidate and emphasize your strengths. And I know there are people in my cohort who are English majors or who were English majors or who have a background in biology. So it really runs the spectrum. So wherever you fall in that line, just have confidence in yourself as an applicant.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we have answered that question sufficiently. Now let's proceed to the next. The next question will be answered by Marco, but what I will also ask Omerson Mez, who is also a second-year student, and I think is the EMA representative of Turkey, to also talk about this. So applicants often wonder how to craft a compelling application. Some have even reached out to current Europubhealth students for tips on improving their motivation letters. Now, could you share what you did to make your application stand out when you applied?
Thank you very much, Bonnie, for the question. Actually, for me, my experience showed me that strong justification on the second year choice of specialization really strengthens your application letter. Just combine the experience you have and the aspirations for future. It will really help your application to stand better among the others, with the special focus on the second year specialization. It's always hard and tricky to write a compelling motivation letter, but I'm sure that if you show a clear picture of why you want to do this master, what's your motivation, what's your background, what motivates you to pursue the specific specialization, then the application is most likely to get stronger.
If I can add something, just give a clear focus on your background. And as my colleagues have already said, try to connect public health with your background, whatever that background is. I would say the cover letter, based on my personal experience, focus the cover letter to say why you're interested in the program. It doesn't have to be a cover letter on your background. Maybe having an introduction of like where you're coming from, but the space is limited, the number of words are limited. So maybe start by saying something about your background and then go into why you want to do this program, why are you choosing your first and second year specialization. And even something that helped me was having a clear question that I wanted to ask throughout the program. So I was interested in like HIV prevention programs and like national policies, and I really made that strong in the application and said that I would, continue throughout the 2 years, trying to enter based on the program format. And and for the CV instead, I would say take the chance of the Europass or another format. Europass is always preferred, but we've also read some kind of like concerns on the kind of formatting. We know that, and we still suggest using it because it gives you more space and time to kind of like process. But what I would suggest is focus don't be shy in the CV, like show everything that you've done, whether that's local, whether that's volunteering, whether that's anything on a smaller scale, that's still enough. But don't be shy. It's not a resume, a one-page thing. There's no limit. And then in the cover letter, you can more focus on the motivation. So try to keep these two separate so you can show us why you want to apply and why this program, but also where you're coming from in a more detailed way.
Okay, thank you very much, Omer and Marco. Let me also add something because some people reached out to me personally to help them review their motivation letters. And one advice I can give you is sometimes it is tempting to use ChatGPT. But be careful because it makes your application or your letters look very generic. Like when I was reviewing some motivation letters, I saw a similar pattern that sometimes just repeats the information provided in the website of Europubhealth. So if I were you, I will avoid that. Instead, make your motivation letter truly about you. So it will be unique from the other motivation letters that the committee will review, because there are thousands or maybe hundreds of applicants to this program. So if you want to stand out, please present yourself and not something that AI generates.
Can I add to that, please, Bonnie?
Yes, go.
I strongly agree on that. The ChatGPT syntax and is quite recognizable from my point of view, because I've already received some motivations letter to review as well. And that's why this year I think the consortium has introduced interviewing applicants. So just a strong emphasis on what you said.
Yeah.
And
All right.
I
Yes.
want to add something.
Yes,
So
go.
very similar to what Marco had mentioned, but we're students. The application committee already sees your CV. So please don't make your letter of motivation just a paragraph version of your CV.
Yeah.
Obviously, things on your CV are important that you want to elaborate on, but I've been reviewing applications and have been involved with EPHSA since 2020 when I started this program, and I always suggest that people follow the past, present, future model of writing a letter of motivation. So here's what I've done in the past that's relevant to this program. Here's what I'm doing now and why I want to do it now. And here's how me and this program are going to make the future better. So focus on certain things on your CV that are relevant to why does Europub Health need you specifically, and why do you specifically need Europub Health?
I like that. Thank you very much, Jordan. Yeah, please emphasize why the program needs you and why you need the program. So it's not just about your achievements. All right, thank you. Now let's talk about how to choose the right mobility. So while selecting a mobility track is straightforward for some applicants, it can be a complex decision for others. What key factors should one consider when choosing their mobility track? What can you say about this, Kaya?
I think that the website, the Europubhealth website, is a great resource. It outlines the courses that you can expect to take, and it also links you to the host universities. So I think you should read those thoroughly. Look at the courses, see what interests you. Look at the host website, look at the professors that teach the courses, see if they interest you, see if their research fields are things that you can connect with. Location can play a part. Like if you couldn't see yourself somewhere, give yourself room to expand and grow, but also be realistic with yourself and pick places that you can see being successful, that you can see yourself being successful. And then reach out to the EPHSA page, to different contacts that you may have in different places, and try to imagine all of the things that you'll learn and how you might apply them in the future. If you don't have a public health background, it may be hard to envision yourself in a few years and what direction you'll want to take with public health. So really just sit with your past and your present and see the direction that you want to go with public health. But yeah, the big one is definitely looking at the course load and looking at the professors and seeing what would put you on the best path for your future.
Okay, thank you, Kaya. So sometimes language is also a consideration for your mobility track. So there are questions whether is it possible to follow an all French or all Spanish or maybe all English mobility path or even a combination of these languages. I'd like to ask Koim to talk about this and maybe Samia after. Koim?
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm the students that took all French course in first year and second year. So it's possible if you want to take the course in first year, for example, in Liège, and second year in Rennes. And also, if you want to just go to all English mobility path or all Spanish is possible. And of course, if you want to choose a combination also, you can choose it because you know that Europubhealth website already mentioned it, that in every mobility, in every city that you want to choose, there are specific requirements, especially for the English. For example, in Liège, it has a certain score compared to others. So please just check the website to ensure that you have your correct standard of score before you're applying the mobility.
Thank you, Koim. Samia?
My pathway was different. I chose to have a mixed pathway. And my first year, I did it in Sheffield in English. And my second year, I'm doing it in Granada, which is fully in Spanish. So of course you can have as well a mixed pathway, but I do recommend to check the language requirements, because, for example, if you choose a second year in English or in Spanish or either French, be aware that your final thesis has to, or your final project has to be in that language. So you have to consider that and the English requirements for each of the pathways. But yeah, you can do it regarding your specialization, regarding your language. You can do it in a mixed pathway or just English or even French. So yeah, like the invitation is open. You just have to it depends of the language, the skills that you have, and of course the specialization that you would like to choose for your profile.
And many people also, I know it's been touched on a little bit, since there are 2 first-year English pathways. Yes, they're all synced across the universities, but Sheffield and Dublin are 2 very different cities. So I always suggest, yes, since they're both general masters of public health, you can look at the specifics of the classes and if there are other opportunities available for you there. But think about if you would rather live in a bigger city that's more touristic, that's more of a capital style, or in a more English university town. So both are great, both offer a wealth of opportunities, but if you are interested in doing an English first year program, do a little bit of research on Sheffield, England versus Dublin, Ireland to see which one you would be best at. And also for whether you're getting this, applying for the scholarship, receive it or not, I highly suggest, if finances are a constraint for you, to think about, for example, Granada is incredibly affordable, Dublin is not. So please also factor that in, because there are many of you asking, can I bring families? Yes, but you don't get more money from the scholarship because of it. And it is very difficult to live the same way in Granada and Dublin, as I'm sure some of you are laughing, you probably understand. So definitely consider that. And there are lots of opportunities on the website and information on self-funded or not, information on how to budget and finance. And all of us are available to help you as well.
Different language you can study in. So even if you, for instance, choose a first year in Liège and a second year in Granada, for instance, you still have to speak English, to have a certain level of English, because as we said, the integration module are in English. So we do ask to you to provide a proof of your English level, because you will need it for a program. It's also the language of communication in the program.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification, Matilde. So English proof is a requirement for everyone. Yeah. Thank you. Now, Jordan talked about selection or choosing the right mobility based on the city you want to live in. So can I ask maybe Koim or Kaya to add more information, like considerations about accommodation, healthcare, safety in the host cities, because many applicants are asking about this.
Maybe I will answer it first. Thank you. Actually, I was in Liège, Belgium on the first year and the second in French in Rennes. So based on my experience for the accommodation in Belgium, once I got accepted from Europubhealth, so I immediately contact the accommodation in Belgium, because here that there are the difficulty of international students getting the accommodations in that city. And I found that not only in Belgium, but also in certain cities like Maastricht and many cities. So you have to really aware about this problem of housing. So also, once you already contact with the accommodation, ensure that you should you pay the rent in prior or not, because it's very important as well. Should you sign the contract at the same time, or you have to take a few once you arrived at the city? So it depends on in city that you want to choose. Because me in Belgium, I got an online view from the accommodation, so I have to pay online like a few months before I come to Liège. So accommodation is quite challenging, but once you already catch up earlier, so you will get to know better, and you can solve this problem. And regarding to healthcare, because I am a scholarship holder, so I got health insurance from Europubhealth, and also in every city, even in Liège and Rennes, I also got a local insurance from the government. So it's quite affordable for the students, because they will cover some of the expenses of the healthcare. So it will help us to, for example, we have some urgent something disease that we have to take care. And also don't forget to bring your own proper medication, because some medication is not available in Europe and in some countries. So just keep in mind about your own medication. And about the safety in host cities, some cities has a high crime rate, some not. But in Liège and Rennes, I found that the crime rate is safe, especially because in general European countries is safe countries. But the thing that we have to keep that we have to familiarize with the environments, and also maybe because we have to catch up with, for example, when you have an activities, ensuring that you can access the public transport, something that can easily see people's outside. And also yeah, because I have a really completely different experience in Liège when my accommodation was far away from university. I have to take 20 minutes by bus. So I got a reimbursement from the bus subscriptions from university. So the price was 300 euro for the bus subscription annually, but the university give me a reimbursement. So you have to profit it, and I believe that also in other mobility they offer some of this kind of aids for the international students. And the second mobility in rent, because Liège ESP has the accommodations, the residence that you can access, especially if you are the Europubhealth students, so you have the priority to get the accommodations. So just like the two steps from the university, so you don't have any difficulty to access the accommodations. And also it's cheap, and also it's nearby, like the restaurants, university, and also the cruise, like the public restaurant for the students. So for me, it's a good experience, whether in Liège and in French. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Koim, for your very comprehensive answer. Let me ask Kaya to also share her experiences, because she is in Dublin, one of the expensive cities in Europe.
Yes, Dublin is, in fact, one of the more expensive cities. I also, just to add on, I agree with everything that was mentioned. I would research specifically what's going on in your country, that you're applying to. Dublin is having a housing crisis right now, which adds to the cost of living. But a lot of cities are like that. So just look at what it looks like for someone who's new to the market to find affordable accommodation, especially near your university, or what it would look like to commute from a further distance. So take some of those factors into consideration before you apply. That goes on to what Jordan was saying about if you want to live in like a bigger city or a smaller city. Along with that, it might be, do you want to manage the cost of living in a bigger city versus living in a smaller one. But there are a lot of different factors that go along with that. So you can find different survival guides. EPHSA has a survival guide. Different universities will publish survival guides as well. If you look at the university's homepage, they'll have different resources for surviving as a student. So I definitely would recommend taking your time to write out pros and cons for different universities, write out a plan of action for finding housing and finding accommodation. There are different websites that universities approve as well. Being international students, you definitely have to take precaution for things like scams or dangerous renting situations. So put yourself in the best position that you can by doing things proactively, getting additional help and resources, reaching out to your university when applicable. And beyond that, having a budget definitely depends where you'll live, what that budget will look like. So that's definitely something to plan for in advance, whether you're a scholarship student or a self-funded student. Try to have a budget that's pretty comprehensive of things that you can imagine popping up. Look at, what are the costs of groceries like? What are maybe different activities that you want to do? What would that look like? Just so that you can feel really stable and secure. Being an international student in a different place, it's very easy to feel maybe just like you don't know the way of the land. So just give yourself the best chance of success in priorly preparing for that. But yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaya, for the practical recommendations. Now, we're giving you this information about the cities to help you decide on your mobility, but we will conduct another webinar once you get accepted into the program to help you move to your chosen cities, especially with visa applications, finding your accommodations, etc. Mathilde wrote in the chat that the consortium receives less applicants for Belgium. So if you are interested in doing a French program, go for it. And Mathilde
Yes.
is raising her hand.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, of course, if you speak French, we are looking for more applicants for Liège, so don't hesitate to apply. So just for clarification, when we talked about languages and pathway, it's possible to study for your first year in French if you study in Liège and health promotion, like Coim just said, but you cannot study fully in Spanish for your first year and your second year because you have to apply to study in 2 different countries. So you cannot choose Granada, Spain for your first year and your second year. Unfortunately, you have to choose.
The country. Okay. So you should have at least a minimum of 2 countries. Okay, thank you very much for that clarification, Mathilde. Now we only have 30 minutes left. Okay, let's proceed to the next question. What kind of support can applicants expect, particularly with visa applications and relocating to their year one cities? As mentioned earlier, we will conduct a webinar for you, but let me ask maybe Marco to give some information about this. Based on your experience, Marco?
Maybe Jordan once, because I see the hand.
Oh, yeah, sorry for missing. Go,
Yes.
Jordan.
So I see many of you asking questions. As you all know, EPH isn't the one that issues your visa, and all of us can do our best to help you, but we all come from different places and are in different countries that all have slightly different requirements for the visa. So what Bonnie and I might need to both go to the Netherlands might be entirely different. So your best case is to, as soon as you get accepted and decide to go to EPH, you immediately look at what the country you're going to requires for where you're from and start working on those applications. We are all here to help and guide you, but please remember that we aren't the ones issuing the visa, so we can do our best to support. And in extreme cases, sometimes EPH or EMA, as I'm a part of, can issue a letter of support for your visa, but we don't have the power to give you or expedite the process for your visa. So best case, and I'm sure you'll hear when people ask about accommodation as well, the sooner you can start managing that, the better.
Yeah. All right, thank you for that answer, Jordan. So start researching now while you are still in the process of applying. Okay, let's proceed now to the last question. So let me ask maybe all the panelists to share their overall experience with Europub Health. Just to wrap up this discussion and maybe to convince everybody in this session to really apply. Can I start with Katha?
Sure, Bunny. So to be honest, I really am super glad that I chose this program. As I said, I'm in the Sheffield Maastricht cohort, and for me, what really makes EPH unique is the people. So the people you study with, that you spend your time with, they are not only your colleagues, they're also your friends, which sounds a bit cheesy, but for me, that's the truth. So it's super nice that you kind of do feel like you have a family away from home as well, because you do know that you can rely on each other, even though you don't know each other super well, especially when you go to your second year university. Maybe you've only met in the integration module for a couple of weeks, but that really kind of bonds you together. So I have a really good experience with the whole program, and yeah.
Yeah, I can add. Also, I did, as I mentioned earlier, first year in Granada and second year now in Maastricht. And I think choosing like a bilingual program really really made me kind of appreciate the program even more. Just living in Granada, like Spain, and having some tapas and like all of that, that counts. Like this program, it's not only about public health. Of course, it's the main focus, and of course, it's the study. But as Kata was mentioning, it's people coming from all over the world with different backgrounds. Classes are very multicultural. Countries that you are experiencing and trying to like understand, and then every experience is different from each other. So, and that's also the beauty, because there's like endless opportunities in every space context, whether that's academic or just like social. So yeah, I'm very glad I chose it. As Matilda was saying before about like encouraging French speaking people, we also encourage Spanish speaking people to apply for Spain. So if you do speak Spanish, don't even think of not applying to Spain. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to influence, but it's nice to also having that kind of bilingual opportunity in an academic setting, and I think it will also help you in the future. And that's also something, going back to the CV, that you can mention in your cover letter. Does getting kind of like academic proficiency in different languages helps. So yes.
Thank you, Kata and Marco. Kaya?
Yeah, so far I've had a great experience. I was just laughing with everyone because it feels like we have been in this program for so much longer. Like it's only December and we got here in September, so it really has not been that much time at all, but there's been so much personal growth and in academic growth and professional growth. And I think this program is such a great incubator for growth. In such a rapid amount of time, you're able to see yourself develop in ways that that I personally would not have seen otherwise. And kind of to echo the cheese, it's a really great matchmaking and friendship program. Like everyone really goes together really well. And it's really great to see how much you can form really great relationships with people that you just wouldn't have met otherwise. So definitely recommend.
That is so true. Thank you, Kaya. Samia.
Yeah, thank you, Bonnie. Well, I think most of the experience of the program has been said. The program does not only help you with your professional development, because you learn a lot about public health in different fields regarding your background. You will have the opportunity to adapt your background with all the professional skills that you will develop in the program, but also it's about also friendship, also like have the experience to know for very different cultures, from like your classmates will be from all around the world, and that's of course like that also strengthens your profile and your like yourself as well. But for the second year, you will also have the opportunity, depends of what you're going to specialize, but for the second year, you will have the opportunity to do an internship in a very different country. So that will help you a lot as well. What I will say is that, and what I would recommend is that you somehow try to connect like even like your life experience with your choice of the pathways and of the countries that you will be living in. You will have a lot of support from EPHSA, from the program as well, but like keep that in mind, like where are you going to live, what are your economical your financial possibilities, because that will impact as well in your experience of the program. I come from Ecuador and I'm self-funded, so I had the opportunity to work while I was in Sheffield. I've had the opportunity to work here in Granada to support like my all like my financial needs here as well, and my experience, and that might shape a little bit different if you are self-funded than having a scholarship. But anyways, like try to think as well how your life experience and your financial possibilities can connect with the program, because that as well will help you to strengthen your profile, not only as a professional, but also to enjoy the experience of studying a master's degree in Europe. So yeah, that's my recommendation. I do recommend as well, as Marco said, like to apply for an Spanish track, either for your first year or your second year. For the second year, I'm the only one studying my specialization in health services management in Granada. And that's sad because like in the Granada, it's connected with the Andalusian Spanish system, health system. So if you like apply for a second year here in Spain, you will have the opportunity to do your internship directly in the Spanish system, like working in the hospitals, in the facilities, in the Spanish facilities, and knowing a different health system from your country. So I do recommend as well to apply for the second year here in Spain, and that would be a huge opportunity if someone is interested in health services management.
Okay, thank you very much, Samia. So I feel like everyone has their own favorites. Now let's have Omer.
I certainly agree with what has been said. This program is overall a really transformative experience, and there's a good balance of, I would say, the technical skills in public health and the soft skills you gain during your studies here. And yeah, it's also offering you a big network of accomplished individuals, alumni and current students. It's been really transformative for me. I look back in the Omer that has started the program, and there has been a substantial personal growth I can realize in myself, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be part of this big family. And yeah, I would say everyone should apply. And I would also agree with Samia saying that even for self-funded students, this program is a really good option, and not everyone is unfortunately able to be covered with the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, but self-funded students have the option to pay lower fees and connect with such a great network of people. So yes, good luck everyone with their application, and and hope thank you very much for organizing this webinar.
Thank you very much, Omer. Let's hear from Jordan, who's the only alumna in this session.
So everyone already said all of the amazing things from EPH. Obviously, as Bonnie said, we all do have our favorites. I come from the States, so English is my first language, but I chose to do my first year in Spanish. So there are very few non-mother tongue Spanish speakers that do their first year in Granada. So it was definitely a challenge for me, but having studied public health in my undergrad, this was a way to study something I already knew, but in a language I was improving on. So invaluable experience, because it also gave me the opportunity to truly empathize with my classmates who aren't mother tongue English speakers when we were discussing a difficult topic in my second year in Maastricht. And it was my mother tongue, but it wasn't theirs. So I really gained both sides. As Marco mentioned, you have the ability to do so of the language. And I know it's been asked several times in the chat, do you have people from X country or Y country? There have been people from many, many, many countries in EPH. And we sit in a room in Maastricht, for example, there are 8 people from 8 different countries on 5 different continents, and we're discussing complex issues from all of our different perspectives in a problem-based style learning, which is not my favorite, so much so that I specifically chose my medical school because they have problems-based learning as well. So all of the soft skills that you will learn from this program are absolutely invaluable. And just because you come from a business background or a dental background and you're not exactly what you think fits the mold of a perfect public health master's applicant, please don't be discouraged, because those unique perspectives are what make Europub Health so magical. I know that sounds crazy, but such an amazing program because people are so different. So don't let, oh, I'm not the same as the standard applicant be a discouragement for you. Rather, it should be an encouragement for you.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Jordan. And thank you to everybody, to all the panel members for sharing your experiences and for convincing our attendees today to complete their applications very soon. We only have 1 or 2 minutes to close this session, so let me give back the microphone to Mathilde.
Yes, we are coming to the end of this webinar. I would like to thank all the panelists and the participants to this webinar. I hope it has been useful for you, and that you gain some insight, and you can benefit from the advice that the panelists gave you and clarification that the coordination team gave you as well. And don't hesitate to contact us if you have any question about the application process or the application platform. You can contact the EPH selection team. You can see the address, the email address on this slide. If you have questions about the rather the general program, you can contact us, the coordination team. You can see the email as well. And of course, if you would like to contact a specific panelist, you have this QR code that you can scan, and you have also EPHSA address if you would like to contact someone in the association, and Jordan's email address as EPH program representative as in EMA, Erasmus Mundus Association. And we are looking forward to receive your application and maybe welcome you in the program very soon.